In today's brief video, I'm going to be reacting to the world famous YouTuber, JacobJones, who has publicly stated that he wants to quit vaping in one of his most recent videos. For those of you who don't know who Jacob is, he's a YouTuber who does vape reviews, cigarette reviews, and nicotine product reviews, like the Zen nicotine pouches and things like that. His channel is growing at a super rapid rate, and he makes really, really good, genuine content. Being completely honest with you guys, this is one of the most honest guys that I've ever seen on YouTube, and I can't wait to react to his reasons why he wants to quit vaping.
So, I want to quit vaping. That's right. I want to quit vaping. Now, a lot of you guys might be wondering why. Why do I want to quit vaping kind of thing? Now, just to clarify, before we get too far into the video, there is no guarantee that I actually will quit vaping, and I may just slow down or something like that, or I may not do anything at all.
I think one of Jacob's largest barriers to quitting vaping is going to be his channel. When you start a channel, you kind of choose an identity or you choose a niche. And his niche is doing nicotine product reviews. And I've watched his channel for a long time, and I know based on his viewership, his vape videos usually hit home. He does a lot of views on his vaping videos, and I just can't help but wonder if that's going to hinder him from quitting. If he starts to quit and he sees his views going down, is that going to be a problem for him? And is that going to prolong his vaping if he actually wants to quit? I have no idea. Although, honestly, I don't think people watch this guy just for his vape reviews. I think they watch him for his genuine content and his conversational manner.
To go ahead and take a hit of my Fume Ultra Pink Lemonade, you know what I'm saying? Bad vape. That's what I'm calling this. I'm calling this bad vape, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be taking a hit of that. And
I've never seen someone start off a video about quitting vaping just taking a huge fat rip out of their fat disposable vape. I've never seen that before. Interesting approach, Jacob.
why do I want to quit vaping? It's a pretty simple reason, honestly. I'm not enjoying cigarettes as much anymore because of vaping.
God blessed. Oh, that's not what I was expecting. I see where this is going. I see where this is going. Not what I was expecting. Hopefully this isn't the only reason he wants to quit. I'm not surprised. He's being honest.
Because vaping is eliminating my need to smoke cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? And it's the exact point of vaping. So this is a completely this is super ironic that I want to quit vaping because of the reason that most people want to vape kind of thing. But the reason I want to quit is simple. It's eliminating my need for cigarettes kind of thing. I've been smoking less and less cigarettes as I've been vaping more and more. And now, right now, I'm only really on like 3 cigarettes a day kind of thing. My usual...
For most people, this would be a really, really good thing. They smoke cigarettes, now they're vaping more, and they're usually pretty happy about it. But not in the case of JacobJones. He's really disappointed in his decreased cigarette consumption because of vaping. And for that reason, because he's smoking less cigarettes, he now wants to quit vaping. Very interesting. That's a curveball.
It was about 4 to 5 for a couple weeks kind of thing. And then I started kind of slimming down, started vaping a little bit more. I got to be completely honest with y'all. And now I'm at about 3 cigarettes a day, which really is just not a lot at all. I got to be completely honest with y'all. Not a lot at all. For the rest of the day, I'm usually just vaping. I got to be completely honest with y'all because simply put, it's more convenient than smoking. And I don't got to worry about hands and smelling and stuff like that kind of thing because...
He brings up a really good point, and vaping is a lot more convenient than smoking, and I think that's one of the things that makes vaping so dangerous when it comes to the addiction of vaping. A lot of people really struggle to quit because of that convenience factor. To smoke a cigarette is a process. You have to light it up. You have to deal with the smells like he's talking about. People are often offended by it. Vaping, on the other hand, you can hit that thing a million times a day over and over and over again while building your nicotine tolerance through the roof. And that might be another issue that Jacob's facing. His nicotine tolerance has to be so high now from this combination of cigarettes, vapes, and I don't know if he's still using the nicotine pouches. He's losing some of that initial enjoyment that a person gets when they first get that nicotine high before they fall deeper into the addiction and build up a tolerance. I have a feeling that's kind of what's happening.
I'm spending a lot of time with my family right now. And they don't really like the fact that I smoke kind of thing. They don't want to smell the cigarettes on me. And that's one of the reasons why I'm vaping as well. But the thing is, it's still eliminating my need for cigarettes, and it's making me enjoy them less, because if given the option between two of them, if I'm at home right now kind of thing and it's like night kind of thing, if I'm given the option between hitting my vape or going outside and smoking a cigarette, a lot of the time, I hate to admit it, I would choose to vape instead of going and smoking a cigarette, you know what I'm saying?
I'm kind of perplexed by this, because if you enjoy vaping more and that's what you would rather choose to do because you're enjoying it more, and I don't think he's saying that, why wouldn't you just continue to vape? Why continue with the cigarettes? Why would he choose vaping over cigarettes? Why is that happening? I understand out of convenience, but from what I'm hearing right here is him saying, no, if I had the choice between a cigarette and a vape, I'm going to choose the vape. And I've heard this from many, many people before, whether it's with the flavors or the harder hitting nicotine salts found in a vape product. I just don't understand why you would give up something that you're enjoying more. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
One of those things that makes me super sad, I gotta be completely honest with you, it's one of those things that makes me super sad because I love cigarettes. They, to me, are just the absolute epitome of enjoyment, you know what I'm saying? I love them, you know what I'm saying? My perspective hasn't changed at all on cigarettes. I still love them just as much as I used to kind of thing. Just my need for them has decreased significantly.
So he answered our question right there that I was just asking. You know, it's funny too. Everyone who starts off early in addiction, you know, they love the alcohol, they love the cigarettes, they love the weed. And I always say addiction is like a toxic relationship. It starts out with a lot of love, and then that relationship turns very, very toxic when you start to realize the impact that these substances are having on your body. We all started out loving these things. I can guarantee that.
Because of vaping, and it makes me kind of sad. It makes me kind of sad because I really just enjoy cigarettes, and that's really what I want to enjoy kind of thing. I don't enjoy vaping nearly as much as I enjoy smoking cigarettes kind of thing. When I vape, it's a means to an end. I gotta be completely honest with you. It's a means to an end kind of thing. I vape because I want the nicotine. I don't vape because I enjoy vaping all that much kind of thing. I do enjoy vaping, do not get me wrong, but I certainly do not enjoy vaping as much as I enjoy smoking cigarettes. So
this is interesting. What I'm understanding is he's basically saying, look, I'm not vaping out of enjoyment. I'm vaping straight up for nicotine. And this is really what addiction feels like. This is the start of the feeling of addiction. Here I am doing something that I don't even really enjoy doing anymore. And I would choose to do that something over something I do enjoy. In Jacob's case, ironically enough, smoking cigarettes. This is really what addiction feels like. And I can't help but to wonder if this is one of Jacob's first bouts where he's really saying to himself, wow, like this is addiction. This is what it feels like to be addicted to a drug, to have a drug addiction, choosing to do something that you no longer enjoy doing.
Certainly is one of those things where I'm just kind of sitting here in my head and I'm kind of like, wow, am I not enjoying cigarettes as much because I'm vaping, you know what I'm saying? It certainly is odd. It certainly is I gotta be completely honest with y'all. Another thing certainly is that vaping has increased my need for nicotine so much because it's so easy to hit. I literally half the time I'll go to the grocery store, hit this in the bathroom, go back out and shop kind of thing. Easy, and I hit this probably 150, 200, 300 times a day kind of thing.
Yeah, this is a huge problem when it comes to vaping products. Our nicotine tolerance goes so high. Our dependence on nicotine to function elevates so much. This is one of the many reasons why a lot of people want to eventually quit vaping, because they become sick of being so dependent on nicotine to function. Not to mention what this is doing with your cortisol levels and other stress hormone levels in your body. It's really putting your body through a roller coaster ride, especially at such a younger age.
It's one of those things where I just burn through it kind of thing. I burn through it because it's so easy to hit, so easy, so convenient, so much more easy and convenient than a cigarette kind of thing, that it's hard to not smoke more. I gotta be completely honest with y'all. For me at least, who is a nicotine addict, of course. I am quite the nicotine addict myself, you know what I'm saying? So
what's happened to Jacob here is actually a very common problem. A lot of people pick up vaping to quit smoking or quit chewing tobacco, and then they wind up developing polynicotine addiction. where you're addicted to more than one nicotine substance. So you vape when you can't smoke cigarettes, you smoke cigarettes when it's convenient, and when you can't vape and you can't smoke cigarettes, you chew tobacco or you use a nicotine pouch.
It certainly is odd, I gotta be completely honest, y'all. It certainly is odd to see how my perception of nicotine and all of this sort of stuff has changed over the couple years, because don't get me wrong, as said, I still enjoy cigarettes more kind of thing. I still enjoy cigarettes more. Just, I feel like my need for them has decreased, but I gotta be completely honest with y'all. There is one more thing that actually makes me really want to quit cigarette, or not quit cigarette, quit vaping, you know what I'm saying? There's one more thing that makes me want to quit vaping, and it's pretty simple. It's the cost associated with vaping. In my state,
a common argument for vaping is, oh, it's cheaper than cigarettes. I have heard this from more people than just Jacob, where they state that they are spending more money on disposable vape products than they were spending on cigarettes. I don't think that stating that vaping is cheaper than smoking cigarettes, I don't think that's a very valid argument anymore, especially because so many people who vape have such a high consumption of the nicotine. They burn through these things so rapidly. And I do think for a lot of people, cost becomes a factor. It becomes a big factor for a lot of people.
Cigarettes are cheaper than vapes typically. This was $12.99. This would last me 3 or 4 days. This was $5.50, $6, you know what I'm saying? This will last me 3 or 4 days. So it's pretty obvious which is the cheaper alternative. And now that I'm buying both of them kind of thing, now that I'm buying both of them, it's getting even more expensive. And it's gotten to the point where I can afford it, don't get me wrong, but it's getting...
Everyone always says they can afford it. And I like to remind people, no one can afford the cost of addiction at the end of the day. Addiction takes from us in many areas of our lives. It takes from our health, mentally and physically. It takes from our pocketbook, right? All the money that he could maybe be investing or doing something with if he was interested. Maybe that's not how he wants to spend his money, and that's fine. I respect that completely. But I don't think any of us fully understand the cost of addiction until it's time to pay up one day. And unfortunately, obviously being, a younger guy, and I do think he's aware of the costs. I just think right now it's not something he's concerned with. Addiction is kind of like accumulating debt. You're accumulating debt. You got $100 in debt. It doesn't feel that bad. Then you got $1,000, then a couple $1,000, and before you know it, you're in over your head on debt. That's eventually how addiction bites us. We didn't see that accumulating cost until it slaps us across the face one day. And then some people, they're so buried in it that they can't get out. Bankruptcy, unfortunately, in addiction is not an option.
To the point where I'm kind of like, wow, I really wish I hadn't kind of... I'm just kind of like, man, I'm kind of like, why did I spend money on that kind of thing? It's one of those things where it's certainly one of those things where I'm kind of like, I didn't really need to spend money on that, but I did. Oh well, kind of thing. It's one of those things, but that's pretty much why I kind of want to quit vaping, I gotta be completely honest with you. And I just realized I pretty much haven't taken a hit of my vape for this entire video. I've just been talking, you know what I'm saying?
Right here, he's gonna get this screenshot thumbnail for his videos. This man knows what he's doing when it comes to YouTube.
But let me know what y'all's thoughts. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are on what I said, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all's thoughts are on what I said. I'm very curious to find out what you guys think about vape addiction compared to cigarette addiction, or vice versa kind of thing. I do not really plan on quitting vaping. This is just more theoretical than anything. I don't really want to quit vaping. It's just too convenient for me at the time. But I do definitely want to slim down a little bit. Definitely want to start vaping a little bit less. I got to be completely honest with y'all, because there certainly are...
So Jacob says he wants to quit vaping because it's making him enjoy cigarettes less, which I think has to do with his increased tolerance for nicotine. And of course, this is someone who, truly does sound like they're in that phase, that honeymoon phase with smoking where they still love it. And then he says, it's costing me more money than I want to be spending on it. It's not really something I want to be doing. I don't even enjoy it. But then he ends the video by saying, look, I don't actually really think I'm going to quit. And I think if he does quit, he's going to face a crisis when it comes to the type of content that he's making. And I actually worry about that long term. I suppose he could flip it around to Jacob effing Jones's quitting journey when it comes to nicotine. But I think his channel is going to play a large role in trapping him and keeping him stuck in this cycle of nicotine addiction, because this is part of the personality that he chose. Although I think this gentleman has some incredible other traits to offer, even if it's just his amount of genuineness and conversational comfortability that he creates on the YouTube platform. I think he'll be fine without vaping and smoking, but initially I think it's going to be hard to get away from. My final thoughts, I think vaping sucks. I think if you're trying to quit smoking cigarettes, just cut down on the amount of cigarettes you're smoking and eventually go cold turkey. I don't think you need to add another drug or another form of the drug into the equation, because like most people, similar to Jacob in this video and similar to myself, I think you're just going to wind up with a polynicotine addiction using multiple substances across the board. God bless Jacob. God bless the incredible growth his channel has had. And that's all I got to say. Good luck to those of you guys quitting. Don't let your head mess with you. Quitting is a mind game. Don't fall for the tricks that addiction plays on us.
It's certainly, I'm an addict, you know what I'm saying? I'm an addict, and I do what addicts do best, you know what I'm saying? And I use up my product, you know what I'm saying? I use up my product. I gotta be completely honest, y'all.